Hey, Long Beach. And everywhere else. It's Jerlene, and I'm live. It's late night. It is, took my watch off. What is today? It's late night. It's Saturday. Saturday, September 23rd. It's after 10. It's almost 11, I guess. Yeah, it's almost 11 p.m. Yeah, I know. It's late, y'all. It's late. I just got home from an event. I'm cute. I just made it home from an event, and I wanted to share some thoughts in response to several of the videos that I posted yesterday. In response to the videos that I posted yesterday, and it was yesterday. First of all, thank you to people who have reached out to me, phone calls, text messages, checking in on me about yesterday. I am okay. And I'm just going to say I am okay. And actually, I'm better now than I was. And I went to an event, made it home from an event. And I had like the absolute, I would just say, honor and pleasure to hear Dr. Shabazz, the daughter of Malcolm X, speak at an event. And I hope that it was recorded, because it's something I need to listen to again. But it was something that she said that made me feel like I wanted to recap yesterday. So yesterday I shared the videos of me being outside of Cabrillo High School on the west side of Long Beach, and an interaction that was happening. And I also talked about y'all hear that? Fireworks. I think it's September. Do y'all hear that? All of a sudden fireworks start going off. But talked about some incidents of violence that have been taking place in our local schools amongst our young people. And after I posted the videos yesterday, I received multiple, text message calls, messages from people sharing their thoughts about what I had shared. And the thoughts went from all those kids should have been, ticketed, or all those kids should have been arrested, to, those poor kids, and, they come from poor families. And I have a couple thoughts on that, okay? One, the assumptions that are made about our youth. Well, actually, before I even get to that, tonight, Dr. Shabazz said, when we tell our future generation what they can't do, we create a self-fulfilling prophecy. And one thing that happened, although I was fearful yesterday, because I was fearful, and I thought of everything that could have gone wrong. I still, and I didn't have any anger or angst toward the kids that were inciting the violence, because my thought it was, where have adults failed them? And today, or tonight, when Dr. Shabazz said, when we tell our future generation what they can't do, we create a self-fulfilling prophecy, I thought about what those young people have been told in their life that empowers them, because it is still empowers them or causes them to choose to do things that are violent. Where has an adult failed them? Dr. Shabazz also said, she said, let us become a community of optimists. Y'all hear that? Fireworks. Let us become a community of optimists. And then she said some other stuff behind that. And then further along, she said, optimism, I'm going to stick there. Let us become a community of optimists. In the phone calls that I've received, like I said, in responses and messages about these young people, that they should have been arrested, that they should have been ticketed. Oh, how horrible these kids are, to, oh, these poor children, they come from poor families, they're living in poverty, they don't know anything else. My mind, in hearing Dr. Shabazz, it was like a confirmation of something that I needed to hear about, let us become a community of optimists. I don't want to throw our kids away. that's the problem. We've discarded our young people. And we have to be optimists, because if we aren't, our futures are doomed. We have to be open and willing to pour into our children and our young people in a way that we see a greater future for them. And even though, like I said, I was fearful because everything that was going on was kind of crazy, I still want to believe in those young people. And so some of the calls that I have had today has been about, what do we do? Like, what do we actually do? I don't know. You know, part of the selfishness of me, I just like, maybe I just need to protect my own. But if I don't look after and protect other people's children, those same children are going to become adults one day. And no matter how hard I work to protect my own child, my child will be an adult one day and will have to interact with those same people. So if I want the best for them. So although what I shared yesterday was very confusing and very hard to watch, young people basically with this like mob mentality, ready to incite violence on another person, I still want to be optimistic and believe something greater for them. Like Dr. Shabazz said, let us become a community of optimists. I know in some of my messaging, I may seem like doom and gloom because I'm talking about the negative stuff. But in order for us to move forward into something positive, we have to be able to look at the crap that's wrong. Because you can't correct something if you don't address it, that it's a problem. And right now in our city, we're not willing to address the problems. We want everything to be all shiny and pretty and great. Well, it's not. And it never will be if we don't address the garbage in our community. If we don't address all the crap that's negative, even these policies that are being set that make no sense, the different things that are happening at our policymaker level, if we don't address that, it's not going to get better. Now, something else that Dr. Shabazz said, she said, optimism alone is not sufficient. We also need courage, moral courage, the courage to speak truth to power. And we need more courageous people. I know I use my voice. I'm not the only voice. And I say this often, my voice is not, although you may only hear my voice is a collective of voices of people that I talk to. Yet when I think about those young people, now one thing about these young people that they got right, move in numbers. Now, was their purpose and intention right? No. But they were moving in numbers. Imagine if in community we aligned that way for the good, positive stuff to move things forward or to make change, if we moved in numbers. I mean, these young people literally moved in numbers. I don't know if I'm sure there's cameras outside of Cabrillo. Someone needs to look at those cameras, and they need to see how these young people were moving. They were moving in a pack. We need to do that the same way to implement good things in our community. And even when we work with our young people, we need to move in packs. The same way these kids were willing to launch in to go after another child, we need to be willing to launch in and love them. We need to be willing to show up in numbers, not just one person getting in front of a room talking to them. They need to be surrounded by people that actually give a darn about them. Now, back to some of the other conversations, and then I'm going to shut this down because it is late, of people, someone made a comment, well, they're living in poverty and they, this is what happens. I guarantee you, if we were to sit down with some of them young people that were out there, we will discover that some of them come from two-parent homes. We will discover that some of them come from middle-class homes. We will discover that they have parents that provide for them very well. So to make an assumption that someone behaves in a crappy manner because they are poor, that is oh, very condescending. Very condescending for us to make an assumption that just because you're poor or low social economics, your social economic status is low, that you behave in that manner. Now, and I'll say that because I came from a poor home. Although my family were they were the working poor. I came from a two-parent when I moved from family. I was moved from my grandparent from my parents to my grandparents back to my parents, and my grandparents would have been considered middle class in Arkansas, like they would have been. My parents would have been the working poor, but I was raised by alcoholic parents that were completely disconnected from what was going on in my life, and I didn't choose a life of crime. So we got to stop making that generalization that just because someone, and then there's also an assumption just because kids go to Cabrillo that they're poor kids. And if that is the case, then that's a problem. So anyway, this is a more conversation for later. Like I said, I just left an event where Dr. Shabazz, the daughter of Malcolm X, was speaking, and in the few things that she said, and I'm gonna repeat this. When we tell our future generation what they can't do, we create a self-fulfilling prophecy. So we need to tell our children what they can do, because then it's self-fulfilling. We need to become a community of optimists. That doesn't mean let's be everything gotta be positive mental attitude. No, that's not what that means. And optimism alone is not sufficient. We need courage, moral courage, the courage to speak truth to power. So anyway, I will be continuing this conversation. I wanted to share those thoughts because I left there and I felt the event that I attended. I felt inspired, and was words that I needed to hear, especially coming out of yesterday. And that's it, y'all. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you watch this. Hey, if you're watching my videos, please do me a favor. Let me know you've been here. Hit a reaction, hit like, love. You don't like it, say you don't like it, make a comment. Let me know that you've been here. Let me know that what I'm sharing is relevant. If it's not relevant, say, Jerlene, it's not relevant. If you disagree with me, tell me that you disagree with me. If you got any ideas that come into your mind from something I share, tell me that too. Let me know that I'm not just talking to myself, because I have conversations with myself all day long. Y'all don't get to hear them. Anyway, it's Jerlene, here to engage, inform, inspire. Have a good night.